Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to Pot Smoker's Bible, the prophetic news channel, where I tell you how current situations have to do with prophecy. And I just did a video about Israel and the current situation there. And since I did that, posted that, I've been thinking about it. And it has occurred to me something very cool. And I wanted to put this on record so that the world could get this idea. Now, I've studied ancient history and theology for many years. I have no credentials because I'm too poor to go to college. I'm self-taught. But this observation has been gifted to me through all of my studies and research. I just kind of put this together. Now, the basic feud between Ishmael, which is Islam, and Israel, which is Isaac. Okay. The feud is between Isaac and Ishmael, not Jacob, who is Israel. Okay. So distinction. There's a generation removed between events here. So, in the old ancient legal system of inheritance, there were legal heirs and non-legal heirs. Okay. The first son in 99% of the cases was the inherited inherited everything. All the lesser sons went without, unless the eldest son was not of the marriage. A marriage contract was a legal binding contract, and the legal bound marriage contract superseded a so-called bastard birth, a birth by, say, a legal concubine outside of marriage who was never married to the father, but was a legal concubine who was actually impregnated to provide an heir because the married wife was barren, was thought to be barren, which is the case with Abraham and Sarah and Hagar. My last episode, let me clear that out. But it is Hagar who is the mother of Ishmael. So, and it is Isaac, not Jacob, who is the main character of the conflict between what we call Israel and Islam. Okay, so it was not legal for Ishmael to inherit the homeland because he was not legally bound son by marriage. He was the son of the concubine, a legal mistress, handpicked by Sarah to produce this rightful heir, because she had not at that time conceived an heir. She was older than most women were when they had children. She was considered to be beyond childbearing age. So Hagar was elevated. She was, in fact, a respected figure and should be respected. And please forgive me for saying her name wrong. Please. Okay. Anyway, it was not legal for the inheritance to go to Ishmael as long as Isaac was around. Okay? However, Isaac would only inherit what Abraham possessed at the time of his death. So, he abandoned Ishmael and Hagar to the wilderness, packed up his shit, and moved away, leaving Hagar and Ishmael in possession of the homeland, the inheritance, the true inheritance, the ancestral home, signified by the Kabbalah. Please, I am not versed, so let me just say I'm sorry if I don't know how to pronounce it. So, anyway, that building, which was said to have been constructed by Abraham and Ishmael, signifies the true, unlawful inheritance of Ishmael, giving him the actual homeland, the true inheritance. Now, because Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac left the homeland, the ancestral home, Ishmael was free to live there and to give it to his sons, possessing the true inheritance. While Abraham took the younger son, the legal heir, with him, and became a wanderer with no homeland for Isaac to inherit. So he picked the Canaanite country for Isaac's ancestors to inherit when they took it over. He says, okay, this is a nice place. I'm not going to kill you and sacrifice you to God like the Canaanites do. I'm going to sacrifice this goat, but this is going to be the place where your ancestors are going to take over. This is going to be your inheritance. You don't get ancestral homeland. That goes to the eldest son, who should be the rightful heir, but isn't because of a contract between Sarah and me. So I'm going to give your ancestors this place over here. It's not rightfully mine to give, but I'm going to give it to you. Because I'm giving Ishmael the real homeland back there, where we used to live. Now we're wanderers so that he can have that. And you don't get it. That's what really happened, people. Ishmael was never abandoned truly, except for that he was left the homeland. He was left at his inheritance, while Dad took the younger son, who had claim to the title, off somewhere else where he could not inherit the true homeland that Ishmael got, because he stayed there and took possession of it when Daddy left. So he lost his father, but he gained his homeland, his inheritance, in so doing. And now we have this problem with the lesser inheritance that wasn't rightfully ever given, except through the bloodline of Abraham. And this promise. Well, the Palestinians could possibly be the Canaanites. But they don't proclaim to be the Canaanites, do they? The Canaanites kind of went the wayside. They're no longer really around. Which leaves the ancestral promised new homeland of Israel to Israel. So the true homeland is Mecca. And that went to Ishmael. Isaac's grandson had to fight to take over Canaan, to have an inheritance at all. So, Islam, please, big brother, be nice. Allow your little brother a place to call home. Because he was cast out of his inheritance so that you could inherit it. He was legally allowed to have Mecca, because Mecca was Abraham's homeland, as far as we know. And I'm going to honor your belief in that because I don't know any better. So I'm going to believe that you know what you're talking about when you say that Mecca is the true ancestral home of Abraham. And that Ishmael, by being cast out of the camp and abandoned when Abraham left him his inheritance, that was a trick to get around a law that wasn't just. And to compensate Isaac, he was promised Israel. And I think that we should honor Abraham's wishes and let Isaac's descendants have that little bitty tract of land called Israel. Because Ishmael, centered in Mecca, is the true ancestral homeland, the true heir to Abraham. Not the legal heir. Jacob got screwed. So, forgive the Jewish people for having to bear the legal inheritance that was not legal at all. Now, I hope I don't cause any problems with that, because I'm trying to bring peace. But it is important that Ishmael understands that by being abandoned, he was given his inheritance in the only legal way that Abraham could give it to him, by leaving him there to possess it in his lifetime, by Abraham abandoning his inheritance to give it to Ishmael, so that Isaac would not inherit it. That's why Abraham decided to become a tent dweller, moving around, not staying where he was from. He became a wanderer to deprive the state of their insistence on Isaac inheriting his father's possessions upon his death. So Abraham abandoned his homeland to give it to Ishmael. And that is all the more reason for Islam to be nice to their little brother, because little brother has suffered enough for an ancient law that was never of their own making. Please, my brothers, find peace. If nothing else, the familiarity with the land itself makes you home there. If you're a Palestinian, that is your home. If you're Israeli, that is your home. And because you are both from the family of Abraham, you can both live there in peace. But please, give Abraham's son Isaac something. He didn't get Kaaba. He didn't get Mecca. Did he? He didn't get the entirety of the Middle East, did he? No. He got one little tiny speck of land called Israel. We can end this family feud because it is a family feud. And it is truly based on an ancient, bygone law from an ancient, bygone civilization that had different laws than we have. One such law created the feud between Ishmael and Isaac. And it needs to end. Because we are all family. We are all in this together. So peace, my brothers. May the great watch over us, guide us, protect us, and keep us all from harm. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your choice of careers in the days to come, when the gray establish a better way. Stay happy and high. If you use drugs, you have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the book about it. My name is Zion. I am the prophet foretold in the 54th chapter of the book of Isaiah, and I've come to set us all free and bring us peace. I never say goodbye. So I'm going to say later now.